So let me see if I understand this right. So a couple of idiots go and they just decide to shoot up because of gang-related dumbassery at the Kansas City Chiefs parade. And all of a sudden we want gun control. Let me make my stance about as clear as I can possibly make my stance. If there is legislation that could pass that could help something like that, pass it. Do it immediately. I mean, do it so damn fast that your head would spin. Get out of the way. Get out of the way right now. Get out of the way and pass something if that was going to work. Period. I mean, that's the deal. If you think that's going to solve a problem of two thugs, and hey, look, Ryan Clark said thugs. We're so scared in this country that we don't even want to show the faces of the shooters because they're black. We don't even want to show that. Like, we're afraid to show black guys, white guys we can show that are mass murderers, apparently, but we're so damn stupid. In our schools, we worry about LGBTQ. How about we worry about fathers? How about we worry about that instead? Let me give you some statistics. My thing is, if you can pass it, pass it. If you think tomorrow some gun control measure is going to stop some punk-ass, fatherless thug from getting involved in some stupid gang stuff and not caring, then pass it. But I'm going to give you some statistics. 70%, Tony Dungy said this the other day. We don't even talk about this. I got white guys afraid and saying I'm racist because I talk about fatherless homes. I got black guys on Twitter. This is divisive. It ain't divisive, dumbasses. It's fact. It's a freaking fact. Fatherless homes are ruining this country. We have kids running around rampant in Chicago doing all kinds of idiotic things, and the mayor is protecting them with language. We are a mess because we are scared to death. White dudes are scared to death to say what I'm going to say. 70% of juveniles in state-operated institutions come from single-family homes, you dumbasses. You fatherless fucks. What are you doing, you fathers? I meant you lack of fathering fucks. Individuals from father-absent homes are, listen to this, 279% more likely to carry guns and deal drugs, you idiots. But I got big fat guys, white dudes from frickin' Philadelphia telling me about my privilege. Well, if I was privileged, then good for me. Tough shit. Jesus. 279% more likely to carry guns. Who was carrying yesterday? We don't know. We know it's two black kids. We saw the thing. Let's not bullshit each other. We know they don't have fathers. Don't bullshit each other. Why do we know this? Because statistically it's got to be 279 times more likely to carry guns. You know, that guy Acho, or whatever the hell his name is, Acho, who had uncomfortable conversations with a black man. Oh, shut up. These are the uncomfortable conversations. Most adolescents who enter the justice system have suffered from parental abandonment, substance abuse, or dysfunctional household. In a study of 75 juvenile delinquents, 66 experienced 2 out of 3 fatherlessness. 20% never knew their father. 25% had an alcoholic father. It has been reported, and this is from the AF. I'll read it to you, whoever the hell it's from, because I know what's coming next. Where's that information from? I got this one guy played in the NFL, Ray Roberts. This is divisive. Shut up. Of course it's divisive because the black community doesn't want to talk about their fatherlessness. The black community ripped Tony Dungy for talking about this. They want to celebrate our communities. Yeah? How are those communities going without fathers? A lot of great things happening in the black community, but the fatherless ones ain't it. In a study, it has been reported that fatherless children are anywhere from 3 to 20 times more likely to be incarcerated than children raised in dual-family homes. Now, let me make this also clear. This is white dudes, too. You know, white dudes and fatherlessness is becoming a real problem. Fatherlessness across the board is a massive problem. And the reason I bring up the African-American community is because they went after their own. They went after Dungy for being right. You can't talk about facts. I don't have this fact in front of me. But I had a friend of mine, African-American, said, Dan, basically 13% of the population are killing 51% of the people. I don't hear anybody talking about black-on-black crime. I don't hear any of it. But a dude starts shooting and we want gun control, then go, do it. Do it now. Whatever you need to do. But you're not taking guns away from every citizen. Let's be reasonable here. If our schools decided, all right, we're going to get rid of drag queens and LGBTQ and critical race theory, and we're going to start concentrating on how to be a father. If our entertainment industry, if our government, and all three of those entities, don't make any mistake, they know they're powerful enough because what do you see on TV? Every ad is a lesbian or gay couple. Very rarely do you see a heterosexual nuclear family. So the industry, television, knows. They know their power. Don't tell me that has nothing to do with it. They know their power. Turn on that Volkswagen commercial. You got a married couple, some dude and a dude. Nobody wants to have a regular nuclear family. Well, what's a regular nuclear family, Dakich? A man, a woman, married. If you don't like it, I don't care. But statistically, that's the truth. Sure, there are other great families, but if you want the truth, that's the truth. And why don't we promote that? Because you got the numbers right here in front of me. Fatherless children, 3 to 20 times more likely to be incarcerated than those raised in dual family households. I got a guy always gets mad at me. Well, it seemed to be a breeding ground for you in recruiting with fatherless home. No, well, yes, but I made damn sure when I had a child, a kid, a player, a man from a fatherless home that I acted as a father. 71% of teachers and 90% of law enforcement officials state that a lack of parental supervision at home is a major factor that contributes to violence in schools. In a study of 56 school shootings, only 10 of the shooters, 18%, were raised in a stable home with both biological parents. 82% grew up in either an unstable family environment or without biological parents together. I don't know what to tell you. Children who feel closeness to their fathers are 80% less likely to spend time in jail. Does this offend you? White guy? Black guy? Why does this offend you? Why doesn't this make you go, you know what? Maybe I'm not saying but one of the root causes, fatherlessness. I don't know. There's 2 million prisoners in the United States. Over 800,000 are parents. And 92% are fathers. Getting their ass thrown in jail. 2.7 million children have at least one parent in jail. Now you tell me. Yeah, fatherless is no big thing. Yeah, it's no big thing, right? America's First Policy Institute. Yeah, I mean, look, I get it. White guy, fat, Philadelphia, blogger boy. I get it. We don't want to talk about this. Hell no. We don't want to talk about our prosecutors on the take. We don't want to talk about guys like Ryan Mears here in Indianapolis. I played golf with the night commander of IMPD, Indianapolis Metropolitan Police. He's like, this guy's killing people because he's pandering to the African-American community for votes. He's killing people. He's letting violent offenders out of jail. Again, Clay was hitting it pretty hard last night, and Clay is so right. Clay is so right when he said this. He said, look, every one of these guys, every one of these murderers has a rap sheet long as your arm. How about we take violent offenders, we put them in jail, and we throw away the key? How about instead of Soros backing prosecutors all across the country and letting violent criminals out, all you got to do is spend one day on Twitter following what's going on in New York City, and you'll see dude arrested 27 times, dude arrested 30 times, dude arrested 110 times, dude arrested. But we don't want to talk about that. Why would we want to talk about that? If dads are at home, there is almost no violent crime in America. Tony Dungy laid it out, and Clay said it yesterday. Graduate from high school, get a job, get married, have kids. Then, after you do those things, the poverty rate is damn near zero, no matter how poor you were born at birth, if you just do those four things. But everybody gets mad. George Wrightster, who's some guy on CBS radio, well, social economic issues. No. See, nobody wants to admit what's true. If you graduate high school, if you get a job, then you get married, then you have a kid, your poverty rate is damn near zero. It's statistical. But if you take your dick and you start having sex with everything that walks, and then you start having kids, not only are you going to have problems, the kids are going to have problems, but we're not allowed to say that. And this should be hammered home, and Clay said it, and I've said it, from kindergarten on. Instead of worrying about whether we have a drag queen in our fucking schools, or whether we have a drag queen, or whether we want to talk about LGTB and how happy we are. Yeah, bullshit. Or we want to talk about critical race theory. From kindergarten on, we should be pounding into our children the value of family. And there are all kind of families, jackasses, before you come at me. There's all kinds. But the fact of the matter is we're so scared. Black guy, that's divisive. White guy, that's racist. And I'll tell you something else. And a friend of mine, I'm not going to say his name, but listen to this. I know you all like the weed, right? Although decades ago, THC content in weed was commonly less than 1.5. Some products today are more than 90% THC. Guys in the 60s weren't smoking this crap. No, it's true. It's unbelievable. Modern weed is a major unreported neo-Marxist way for us to tell America drugs are fine. You think that doesn't factor in? Stop it. From 1.5% to 90% THC, yeah, okay. I mean, if you want to talk real. If you don't want to talk real, then let's move along. But the fact of the matter is, we got homelessness, we got fatherlessness, we got broken families, and we got kids running rampant knowing they won't be prosecuted. Add to it, we got weed that's 90% THC, for crying out loud. I'm going to read that again. That's insane. Thank you for sending this to me. Seriously. Thank you for sending this to me. Although decades ago the THC content of weed was commonly less than 1.5%. Some products on the market today are more than 90% THC. But THC, it's all good, man. Do what you want, baby. And then start bitching when people act crazy. Clay Travis makes a great point. No one can be guaranteed they'll be rich, but every single person can guarantee they won't be poor with the choices they make. I get so tired as soon as it comes out, little dipshits like Mina Kimes come out. We need gun control. Boy, if you confront Mina Kimes, hey, Mina, what are your thoughts on fatherlessness? Well, I can't say that because that would be insulting to the African-American community, and I certainly don't want the African-American community mad at me. You know what I mean? It's unbelievable. Woke schools, woke freaking district attorneys, woke prosecutors, no punishment for young people, no fathers, and this is what you get. As I said, I don't give a damn if you're white, black, Hispanic, purple, whatever, who the shooters are. I give a damn that we can't have a legitimate conversation about it. We can't even tell you. Here on Fox News, Fox 59 here in Indy, guy walks into a store, robs it. He's on the loose. Not allowed to say what he looks like. You're not allowed to say how tall he is, how fat, 6'5", 240. He's not allowed to say whether he's black or white. Now, let me ask you a question. How stupid is that? Just think about it. You're not allowed to say whether the guy is black or white, but you're looking for him. He's just robbed a liquor. This happens all the time here at Indy. He's just robbed a liquor store. He's just shot somebody. We had 2 little kids shot in an apartment last night, dead, 15 and 9 here in Indy. It's what we do. But nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to talk about fatherlessness. No one wants to talk about the weed. No one wants to talk about our communities getting a handle on themselves, policing themselves. Now, we don't want to talk about it. It's too divisive. You can't. No. I mean, if you talk about it, then somebody might get offended. And if somebody gets offended, then Oh, my God. We can't have somebody offended. We can't have an article written saying that Dakich is a racist or misogynist. Oh, my God, that would just crush my soul. Oh, my God, somebody said on Twitter, you struck a nerve. Oh, my God. Screw that. Tony Dungy was right years ago. Everybody shot him down. You can kiss my ass. All right, here's a couple scenes from the shooting. Here's a couple scenes that the whole damn thing is nuts. Our social media told me not to go off the rails. I'm just looking at the roundup. Don't go off the rails. Yeah, well, tough shit. I'm off the rails on it. Now, these guys tackled this idiot that did the shooting. These guys tackled him. Guys from Omaha said, screw it, I'm just tackling you. Look at all these people around. You'll see different pictures, and everybody's just taking pictures. We must take pictures instead of helping. What the hell are you doing? Get in there and fight with somebody. More people are arrested. People have been arrested all over the place. The Chiefs left the parade in buses and in shock. Here's a couple of quotes from it. We got some video right there. I don't know whether this is one of the guys or not. Who knows? A lot of people are saying that's one of the shooters. I don't know, but I do know this. Quick trial, execution, and move on. You don't let people just get away with stuff anymore. That's what I'm for. If you don't like it, move along. Here's a little something from Albert Breer. The Chiefs left the parade in shock. Players were unbelievable, calming, panicking kids down. Blaine Gabbert, Trey Smith, Austin Ryder, Chris Aladukin all rallied. Smith went up to one upset kid, gave him a WWE belt, sat with him till he calmed down. How cool is that? How great is that? It's freaking awesome. It's what you got to do, man. I guarantee you, Smith's a good father. My God, this is heartbreaking. Our kids deserve so much better than the way things are in this country. Our inaction on gun control fails them every day. What about our inaction on fathers? That's Mina Kimes. Really? Okay, Mina. I mean, if you say so, I mean, God dang, I never hear you talk about shootings in Chicago. I never hear you talking about shootings in New York. I never hear you talking about anything, but all of a sudden you got a little platform where you think, hey, how about this? Has anybody, and this is from Jason Whitlock, has anybody embraced kind of the gangster lifestyle on TV more than ESPN? Robert Griffin Jr. says it shouldn't be political, but we need to pass laws. Huh? I mean, that's the level of idiot that you have here spouting from ESPN. It shouldn't be political, but we should pass laws. What, Robert Griffin III? I mean, but he's a spokesman. I mean, what are we doing? Mass shootings are not a political issue, Griffin said. Men, women, and children dying from mass shootings are not a political issue. Thoughts and prayers are not enough. All right, well, why don't you get your ass out into the African-American and the white communities and talk about fatherlessness? America's a great country. Now here comes the genius of this idiot. Put politics aside, work together, and pass laws. It's not political, and put politics aside, huh? Tony Bruno says if ESPN and media would stop glamorizing gangstas and other fatherless kids valued life over having illegal guns to shoot each other every night, that'd be a good start. No one in sports media has the balls to see the real problem. I do. We glamorize gangsta. NBA and NFL could do a lot, but you know what they do? They worry about Ja Morant. What's he doing? How about we enforce the laws we have? How about we put people in jail for, breaking the laws that we have? I don't know. Seems that way to me. But we can't do that. It offends too many people. It offends the African-American community, and it offends the white community. And my God, we don't want anybody offended. We would rather in this country not have anybody offended, but have shootings. We would rather not offend anybody than have parades where kids go to see their heroes after a Super Bowl get shot up. We don't want to offend anybody, but we would rather continue with the numbers that I read earlier on fatherlessness. The white dude told me that I'm privileged. The black dude told me talking about this is divisive. Okay. All right. What can I tell you? Everybody is welcome to come on my show and talk about it. Anytime, anywhere. I listen. And I'm the one that'll say, hey, look, get your communities together. Educate. You want answers? I'll give you answers. Here it comes. Get your communities together. Stop celebrating thugs. That's right. I said thugs. Ryan Clark said it. It's okay to say it. Police your communities. You know where the thugs are. Police them. Help police. Help the cops. Take care of your own neighborhood first. Your church. Your priest. Then, ladies and gentlemen, how about we educate? Kindergarten, preschool, first grade, I don't care when you start, high school. Educate on the value of fathers. Educate on the value of family. Educate on go to high school, get a job, then get married and have a kid. And poverty rate is 0. Start that instead of worrying about drag queens. Start that instead of worrying about whether you flew your Ukraine flag. Start that instead of worrying about whether you flew your pride flag. Pass legislation if that's what you think is going to help. Nobody needs to have a freaking AK. Well, maybe you do. Well, maybe that turned a lot of you off, but I've never understood it. Do whatever you need to do with that. It's pretty simple. And then weed out all the weak prosecutors. Vote them out. Get rid of them. And they're all over. Our guy Ryan Mears is the worst, or among the worst. And have some balls about you. I understand you think in an urban city like Chicago you need a black mayor. How's that working out? I'm not sure a white mayor would work any better. But here's what you need. Don't worry about black or white. Worry about somebody that's going to have common sense when it comes to crime. Worry about somebody that's not going to defend kids running rampant all over the city by saying, well, they're just young people looking for something. No. Enforce the laws on the books. Don't worry about, I got to hire a black guy. I got to hire a white guy. Oh, my God, we had a black guy before. We better get a white guy. We had a white guy before. Shut up. Hire somebody with sense. That's part of policing your community. There you go. And quit worrying about offending the other side, if there is another side. See, I don't think there's another side. I talk freely about black. I talk freely about white. Why? Because, ladies and gentlemen, I judge people by the content of their character, not the color of their skin. That's the longest I've ever gone on a subject, but I'm just pissed off about it. And if you all have turned off, I'll just sit down here and talk to myself. Biden didn't score a touchdown. And I'm going to preface this by saying every, quote, right-wing conspiracy theory has come true. Biden didn't score a touchdown. And he didn't score an endorsement from Taylor Swift on Super Bowl Sunday. A lot of people thought he was. Instead, Kelce, listen to this. Travis Kelce is making his debut as a film producer with his movie financed using Biden's green energy tax credit. So this is where our money is going. It's going to Travis Kelce making a movie. The investors in the low-budget dark comedy, which include Kelce, are the first to take advantage of the 2022 Inflation Reduction Act to finance a film. My Dear Zoe cost less than $10 million. Kelce, Milo, and Field, his partners, could spark a trend in Hollywood by employing the Inflation Reduction Act as a way to fund and bolster the flagging indie film segment. Now, a lot of people are thinking this is the way. This is a conspiracy theory of Biden and Kelce and Taylor Swift getting together. And the conspiracy theory got furthered with Jersey Joe Biden sending this tweet out after the Super Bowl. Let's show Joltin' Joe here, Sniffin' Joe, Sassy Joe, Drunken whatever Joe. There you go, just like we drew it up. See? I don't know. I don't care. If you're going to vote for Biden, you're probably going to vote for Biden. If you're dumb enough to want 4 more years of this, you're dumb enough to want 4 years of this. And if you're dumb enough that Taylor Swift influences your vote, then you're dumb enough that Taylor Swift influences your vote. As my grandmother used to say, I think she said this, maybe it was someone else, Dems the berries. And yes, I am Gorbachev. And yes, I did tear down that wall. The greatest, smartest, not the greatest, smartest coach in the history of college football is not Nick Saban. It's not Urban Meyer. It's not Kirby Smart. No. You know what it is? Let me tell you. It's Charlie Weis. Why is it Charlie Weis? Well, the only person that didn't know Charlie Weis was any good was Danny White, who was the athletic director at Notre Dame, who hired Charlie Weis, then the offensive coordinator of the Patriots. I watched Charlie Weis for literally 1 second on his press conference, and I realized this is the dumbest, most arrogant coach I've ever seen, and he has no chance at Notre Dame. None. Zero. Zip. Nada. I did. Said it all over the place. So Charlie Weis goes on. Charlie Weis goes on to lead Notre Dame to 35-27. After 5 years, he's fired. Then he gets the Kansas job. He leads them to 1-18 in the Big 12 Conference. So let me ask you a question. Interesting. Why is Charlie Weis the smartest coach ever? Charlie Weis is the smartest coach ever because Charlie Weis got those 2 schools, wait for it, then the University of Florida to pay him over $100 million to coach. He got $19 million from Notre Dame to go away. Charlie Weis last year made $1.4 million. Charlie Weis is the smartest coach ever. Notre Dame paid Charlie Weis forever. The first time Notre Dame paid Charlie Weis was in 2004. The last time Charlie Weis got paid by Notre Dame was 2017. But then Kansas jumped on board. Then Florida jumped on board. He's a terrible coach, ridiculous speaker, but smart guy in terms of getting paid. So Charlie Weis, like most of us, had comments about Tony Romo. Charlie Weis was not happy about Tony Romo. Charlie Weis said, look, here's the deal with Tony Romo. When some guys speak, I go to the bathroom. It's pretty funny. I'd rather throw up, Charlie Weis said. Listen to this. I try to watch the game, and I try, not to let the announcers ruin the game for me. Now, that's me too. I put the games on mute. Like Hummel gets talking, and it's just blah, 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 and a monotone voice, and like, Jesus, stop. I mean, the DEI hires of basketball get hired. I'm like, yeah, I ain't listening to this idiot. He's obviously ill-prepared. But Charlie Weis said, I'm trying to watch the game and not let the announcers bother me, ruin the game for me. It's not like I can listen to anyone like Papa, Greg Papa doing the game. There are some announcers I really enjoy listening to, me too. But then there's announcers where I have to listen. If I have to listen, I'd rather go to the bathroom and throw up. Sunday was one of those times where I preferred not to listen to announcers and watch the game. Charlie wanted to throw up. Then he went and talked about the end of the game. That was an Andy Reid special. We talked about he was saving the day. He's going to fake a This is when he's talking about Romo at the end of the game. I wasn't listening to the guy because they turned me off. I have to tell you, they do. They turned me off. I'll listen to the end of the game and listen to Tony Romo ruin the moment. Just shut up. Let us savor the moment. Just be quiet. Nance had already said jackpot. That should have been the end. I don't need to hear your analysis of what just happened. I just watched it. I want to watch the moment. Enjoy the moment as a sports fan. Will you please let us enjoy the moment? Well, here's the deal. I did this for 10 years. And one of the best compliments I got, whether it's from Mike Tirico or the bosses at ESPN, is that I knew when to shut up. I'll give you an example. And here's why Tony Romo did that at the end. Guys want to be on the big call. They know that the call for the Super Bowl winning touchdown is forever. So Romo wants to be on it. That's why he started talking. See, you're going to see NFL films. You're going to see wherever highlights of this Super Bowl forever. Romo wanted to be on it. I'll give you an example. Years ago, 5, 10, whatever it was, my son's playing at Michigan. They got to beat Illinois to win the Big Ten. They're beating Illinois bad. My son's a walk-on. John Beilein puts my son in. Last minute of the game. Last possession of the game, Illinois has quit playing. Michigan has the ball. My son has the ball. Mike Tirico is such a pro. He taps me on the leg, and he goes, basically, I got this. So Mike Tirico, knowing that this particular call is going to be in every highlight of Michigan basketball Big Ten championship forever, does me a solid. Andrew Dakich has the ball. Michigan is Big Ten champion. So here's what that means. That means that Andrew Dakich has the ball is forever, a little walk-on, is forever going to be in the lore of the Big Ten titles at Michigan. That's pretty good. I mean, there's a lot of great players at Michigan. And Andrew Dakich has the ball, is in highlights all over the place. That's pretty cool. I learned guys want to be in the big call. You know a guy is an idiot as an announcer when he talks too much. You know a guy's a fool when a guy hits a big shot or makes a big play and the play-by-play guy is calling it. And what do you hear in the background? What do you hear? Do you believe it? Unbelievable. I can't. That's an idiot. All right, I want you to hear Charlie Weis. I didn't know we had the audio. My bad, fellas. Let's hear from Charlie Weis talking about Romo.
Everyone's talking about Kansas City's defense. I think Spagnuolo called a great game. But San Francisco's defense showed up for that game, too.
Yeah, no one's saying they didn't. And I think they talked about Steve Wilkes on the telecast a lot last night.
Yeah, I wasn't listening to those guys because they really turned me off, I have to tell you. I'd rather – they do. They turn me off. I mean, I listened at the end of the game, and I listened to Tony Romo ruin the moment. Just shut up and let us savor the moment. Just be quiet. Nance had already said jackpot. You know, like he had already said that should have been the end of the conversion. I don't need to hear your analysis of what just happened. I just watched it. I want to watch the moment. I want to enjoy the moment. As a sports fan, okay, please, just let us enjoy the moment. It's different than Mitch on radio having to describe the moment because you're not seeing it. We're watching it. Let us watch it.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
Boy, is he right? They tell you that. Look, less is more. What does that mean? That means on TV, you can see it. On radio, you got to paint a picture. You got to tell, hey, we're moving from left to right. You don't ever hear a radio guy or TV guy say we're moving from left to right. Next time you listen to a football or basketball game, you'll hear it. We're moving from left to right. Because they got to paint a picture in radio. TV, you don't have to paint a picture. It's the way it is.